What's good, everybody? It's your boy D Nice with I2G Radio and Viva Las Raiders podcast. Back here with our post-game show. Raiders losers today, 20-9 to the Los Angeles Chargers in Week 2. This is our post-game show. I'm just going to go over the stats and just my overall thoughts of the game. Chargers had a really, really good defensive plan so far in this game. Forced Geno Smith 24-43, 180 yards, 3 interceptions thrown, not a single touchdown. All 9 points were from 3 field goals by Daniel Carlson. They played, 2 high safeties and pretty much stayed in a tough man defense for most of the game. Mixed it up a little bit with zone, but really made the Raiders force them, completely took away the deep ball, weren't really able to get the underneath routes going. Ashton Genty, 11 carries, 43 yards. A little bit better than last week. Had a couple runs where you could tell he was trying to get going. Raiders moving forward have got to find some way to get him more carries and get him more involved in the offense. Leading receiver, Jacoby Myers, 6 catches, 68 yards. Jonah Lalulu on defense had 2 sacks. Max Crosby had a forced fumble. Defense played well, but at times really got exposed on deep crossing routes. Justin Herbert, pretty much clean pocket for him the entire game. 242 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just really, this game was never really kind of in the balance for the Raiders. They just couldn't get going. They were behind 17-6 at halftime. There was only 6 points scored in the second half. No points scored in the third quarter by the Raiders. The Chargers had almost a 10-minute drive there in the second half to pretty much absorb almost all of the time, on the clock. Raiders then had it for maybe 4 or 5 minutes towards the end of the third quarter and couldn't get any points back on the board. So just a tough game defensively. Geno was literally staring down wide receivers and who he was throwing to. Like I said, just couldn't get it going. The offensive line played absolutely atrocious in this game. Gave Geno really no time to throw the ball. There's definitely going to have to be some changes on the offensive line. I don't know if they'll go back with Jackson Powers-Johnson back to center and move Jordan Meredith, but pretty much everyone on that offensive line was getting pushed back into Geno Smith. And, that's something moving forward that they're going to have to fix. Just all in all, just a bad game for the Raiders. Big up and props to the Chargers. I originally had the Chargers winning this game, and then I switched it last minute and said Raiders by a field goal. But they had a masterful defensive plan, and offensively they just were able to, Herbert had a clean pocket and was really able to kind of pinpoint his passes and pick apart that secondary when need be. And then second half they were pretty much able to, run a couple plays, get enough first downs to really keep that clock moving. And, Raiders just weren't able to get their footing down. Shit happens. You're not going to win all 17 games. There's only one team that's done it, and even the Patriots went all the way to the Super Bowl and lost. So Raiders have a short week. They'll be playing on Sunday against the Washington Commanders. There's something I want to talk about. It's, the beauty of having a podcast and things to get off my chest. Some, not all, in the fan base, Raider fans have to stop reading press clippings and worrying about games that the Raiders are not playing. I've seen people already have pretty much chalked this game up as a W, and we're basically chalking up the game against the Commanders as a W because Jaden Daniels is hurt or has a knee injury. You know, Dion Henley, he had an illness at the beginning of the game, said he was questionable. Oh, we got this in the bag. He's not going to play. You got to take this 1 week at a time. There's even content creators as well. They feed into people wanting this attention and wanting to, follow the fan base and everything of that nature. Saying even last year when the Raiders won 4 games, not 14, they won 4 games after they beat the Ravens, that we are now Super Bowl contenders. I know a lot of it is just engagement farming and people are attention whores and they want attention, but some Raider fans have really got to relax. This is week 2. And those same people that was talking all that shit now make it sound like the sky is falling and this team is trash. This team can't be a Super Bowl contender 1 week and be trashed the next week. Gotta pick and choose because it makes you look real crazy out here in these streets. And like Cat Williams said, you shouldn't have been talking shit. I seen a lot of it today. People having to eat crow and now are quiet, or 1 minute they love the team, the next minute they want to throw this team away. I urge people that want to go to Raider games. There's going to be ups and downs in the season. That's a part of being a fan. You got to stick with the team. You can't win every single game. Geno Smith can't look like Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen every single game. There's going to be some bad games, and this was one of them. Now, the real question, and I don't question it too much about Pete Carroll, how's this team going to respond after a short week? They may have enough time to get a practice in, maybe 2, and they got to go on a flight and they got to go cross country this week and play on Sunday against the Washington Commanders. And they got to be ready regardless if it's Jaden Daniels or Marcus Mariota. If they play like this week 3 against the Commanders, they're going to get their ass whooped again. So you've got to make the necessary adjustments. Offensive line has got to block better. Defensive line has got to get more pressure on whoever the quarterback is there. And the secondary has to play better. I thought the defensive line did their job, killed another team under 100 yards. So the run defense at this point of the season is much further ahead than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be an Achilles heel going into the season. The run defense has been solid. The linebacker play has been solid. Jamal Adams, Jermaine Pratt, Landon Roberts, they all played well. Secondary got tested again today. Isaiah Polamau, they seem to kind of be picking on him a little bit in this game. The 2 touchdowns were on his side that Justin Herbert had thrown. But, the Commanders have Terry McLaurin, they have Deebo Samuel, they have Zach Ertz, so they've got a good receiving core over there in Washington. And that secondary is going to get tested again. Offensively, I feel like they've got to get something, kind of that short intermediate passing game. They've got to get going for Geno to kind of give him some rhythm and give him some confidence. Brock Bowers definitely was not 100% today. He had a knee brace on. He still played decent. He had 5 receptions. I think he had about 40 yards. But he's, hopefully he did not make his that PCL strain in his knee worse. They've got to find some way to get him more involved in the game. Majority of these catches really, it felt like garbage time almost at the beginning of the second half because they just weren't able to get anything going. Brock Bowers had 5 catches for 38 yards. Jacoby Myers was the number 1 receiver, 6 catches, 68 yards. Again, I know with people with Ashton Genty are going to say 11 carries, 43 yards, 6 overall pick. It's going to take him some time, but also they've got to have faith and give him the ball more. It's got to be more balanced with this team. Geno Smith threw the ball 43 times. I don't know what Chip Kelly's got to maybe scheme up some different plays, but got to get the short passing game going, because it's obvious, and it's almost now that Geno Smith is forcing the ball deep down the field, especially to Dante Thornton, and it's like they're trying too hard, and now defenses are going to adjust accordingly. Too high safeties, more bump and run coverage, maybe mix in a little bit of zone and really make Geno Smith have to kind of improvise, make plays, but he's going deep down the field, and it's making it a lot easier for the secondary to cover and to guard the deep pass. And on 2 of those passes deep, they were intercepted. So again, Geno had a bad game. He's got to bounce back, and whether it's a curse or a blessing in disguise, they've got a short week and will be traveling on Sunday. Will be playing on Sunday against the Washington Commanders. Later on this week, I will have a pregame show. If there's any news or notes that do come up, Raiders news and notes, we'll definitely post about that. It's going to be also interesting to see if Jackson Powers Johnson plays on Sunday, and if he plays, is it going to be at right guard, left guard, or is he going to possibly play center? Jordan Meredith had a pretty tough game as well in this, but again, folks, it's week 2. Raiders can bounce back. They're 1-1. They can pull a road win. They'll be 2-1, and will be coming back home week 4 to play the Chicago Bears. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Again, people, I don't want to tell you how to fan, but some of you guys really out there have to relax. This is week 2, and some of you guys are, as always, with this team, when you get frustrated with them and upset, you want to throw the baby out with the bathwater and throw away the team and just complain for the rest of the year. Gotta relax. They're 1-1. Pete has been around this game for a long time. Allow him to make the adjustments that he sees fit, and let's see what happens on Sunday. We've got 15 more games to go. Take a deep breath, drink some water. If you got to smoke some weed, smoke some weed. If you got a nice liqueur or cognac or something, drink a shot or 2 of that, not too many, because it's a work week. Relax. And let's see what the Raiders come up with and what adjustments that they make going into Washington, D.C. Again, you can fan however you want to fan, but some of y'all look really crazy out here with some of y'all takes. And it's just like the Vivian Green song. It's just an emotional roller coaster. Like some of these Canelo fans out here after that fight on Saturday. But I digress. The site, www.illuminati2g.com, for all of your hip-hop needs and Raiders news and notes. Viva Las Raiders on YouTube. This post-game show will be on there, as well as on I2G Radio. That's the letter I, the number 2, the letter G. Radio on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. D-Nice I2G Radio signing off. Raiders lose 20-9 to the Chargers. Drop to 1-1 on the year. It's only week 2. Peace.